Welcome to the second season of Under the Onion Skin, the podcast to get closer to independent animation directors and get to know some behind the scenes of their short films. My name is Giulia Martinelli, and each time I talk to a different director about an animated film they made. With this podcast, I hope to be able to capture a glimpse of what I love mostly about film festivals, to have something to listen to when we're back to our regular lives and desks, but most of all, to celebrate beautiful films, talented artists, and storytellers. Welcome to Under the Onion Skin. Hello, in today's episode we are in Annecy, in the middle of the International Animation Festival in June 2024, right next to a picnic which you can hear in the background. On that occasion, I had the opportunity to sit on a picnic blanket and chat about the short film Hurikán, a 13-minute short film in 2D, the result of a co-production of 5 different European countries, which had its premiere there in Annecy. In this recording, I'm talking with Czech director Jan Saska and assistant director and head of animation Marek Pokorný. In this episode, among other things, we talk about writing a story starting from the main character, the use of 3D in a 2D production, and beer.
But I'm happy. I managed to see it yesterday. And it's good that I never talked to you about it yet, so that everything is fresh and real. How do you like the festival so far, and how was it bringing the film here?
Well, I've been there before, but it's always pleasure and to bring the film here when it's the premiere of the film at the same time. It was really great pleasure because the Bonlier Grand Salle and the response of the audience was so warm and enthusiastic. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I was also amazed how the audience reacted, how basically all the jokes worked. Regarding the festival, this is my first time in Annecy, and of course it's a huge festival, so I'm obviously kind of overwhelmed. I don't know which screening to go see first. So from all the feeling of being overwhelmed, I actually turned off today and I went on a bike ride along the lake, which I love the nature around here, also the mountains.
It's true. It's a very big festival and it can be very overwhelming. And I feel every year it grows more. But I think it's amazing that it's as you said, the premiere of the film is here. It's really great. And I think you came prepared. Even if it's overwhelming, you have very cool merch. Or I really like that you made this film business card, let's call it, in form of a coaster.
What is it called? Beer pad?
Beer coaster? I don't know. Yeah, maybe beer
You mean
pad.
the small squares that are under beer glass?
Yeah, exactly. That. It's really great. I don't know how you came up with this, but it fits the...
Our executive producer Kamala came with that idea.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great. So, it's very much connected with very much connected with the topic.
Yeah, exactly.
The main topic, the hero
the
of
beer
the
topic.
one of the topics.
Yeah.
Aside from the romance, right?
Right. The romance with the beer, you mean?
Yeah. So there are 2 kinds of romances. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, that would be maybe a question for the writer, for Honza. But
Yeah. Okay. We didn't originally want to do a romantic movie, but we attended a story lab and we have no idea, and it was for the first time for me start doing a movie, a project without a story, because normally the story is the reason why I want to do a movie.
Yeah.
But this time we have only the character and the environment, the Prague district. Once we start talking about the brainstorming, the idea, what should the movie be about, it turns out that once there is some romantic line it helps to make it, I don't know, like a better kind of story or movie.
Yeah.
So we wanted to keep the original idea, do some beer story, because it's kind of it's the essence of the character, like being a bit alcoholic and too much into beer, and yet make it a little bit more universal, because love is kind of universal. So, and another interesting thing was that this story lab was like 2 weeks, but only one way of doing the story, and it's so-called 15-beat structure, which is famous Hollywood formula for all their blockbusters. Like the first movie shooted according this structure is Star Wars Episode 4, so the path of hero. And we were like, oh no, it's not fitting our character, so what we gonna do? Maybe we giving up the idea to develop a story we can use at the end and just take it as a interesting exercise, just to practice. But at the end, we managed to somehow combine all those things together, and it's there, kind of.
Yeah, it helped the story to take shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel you said in the beginning you didn't have the story, you had the character. So the character already existed. It's a separate thing. It's not just for this film.
Yeah.
And is the name of the character Hurikán?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So you had that. You had this figure, and then you built around it. And I also felt it's amazingly done. Scenes following each other, like very good pace, super rhythm, crazy perspectives. I felt like it was also sort of way to play with all these techniques and to show all these skills that you have.
Yeah, now it's Mara's turn, because he's a head of animation, and he's the best animator I know.
No, but I think Giulia was more mentioning like the montage and the editing, right?
No, also the animation.
That's really...
Not only.
Don't be too modest. I'm talking about the animation
and the perspective, and
Okay, well, of course, it all needs to work together. But I really thought that you are mentioning more the montage, because that's really Honza's specialty. This is someone who was studying Matrix frame by frame, so he really knows where to do the cut exactly, so it's totally fluent and you don't notice the cut.
Yeah.
Which is what I admire about him, and which I enjoyed probably the most about this collaboration.
Yeah, actually, it sounds like a great collaboration if you both are saying it's the other, because if for what I understood right now, you put the timing and the cutting, and you put the animation, and they work together perfectly. So
thanks for saying that.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
We are both very humble people, and my surname Pokorný, it actually means humble in Czech.
So you have to be humble.
Yeah.
No, I think it's really great. And in terms of team, how did you work? How many people were involved?
How many?
It was changing during the production, because sometimes it was basically two of us sitting in a studio alone, but it was mainly in pre-production stage of development. Once we start really animation.
Yeah, I guess it's important to say that our animation department, we were never working from the same space, like from the same studio. Like Maur Film Studio offered us a space, like an office, and it was mostly two of us there, me and Honza, or me and Jan. Like Honza is the alternative of his name, and the biggest number of people in that office at one moment was 5, I think. But usually all the department, like animation departments, once we were collaborating with one French studio first. Because it was big co-production of this short film, which is kind of exceptional, I think, because it's like 3 minutes short film, and it's cooperation of 4 countries.
13 minutes.
13.
Yeah.
What did I say?
3, I guess.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Too short.
So how many countries are involved?
4, 5, 4.
Let's sum it up.
Czech
Czech Republic,
Slovakia, France, and Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yes, so 4. But there are 2 co-productions from Czech side of production.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Okay. So a lot of producers involved.
Yeah.
So I didn't even do the count, like how many people collaborated on it all together. It can be 50 years.
60. I have
60?
to count it because there was, I don't know, some.
For the credits.
And there was some little interview before NSA, and there was this question: how many people? So on a creative positions besides the production, there was like 60 people. But sometimes they are kind of on more than one position. Like, for example, me and Mara, we were doing layouts, we were doing animation, we are doing FX animation, also cleanup, and it wasn't only us. Like, otherwise the team would be much bigger.
Yes. And I also imagine, because of the complexity, but also because of all the co-productions, it must have been a long process overall. How long was it?
Yeah, it's hard to describe in a short podcast. But so what do you want to hear?
I want to know how many years you've been working on it.
Like 3 years. It was like full-time job for us, basically. But Honza worked on it before.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell because the development stage wasn't...
Not full-time.
Yeah, and it wasn't in a row, so it was like, let's say maybe one year plus.
Yeah, altogether, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. This happens very often, that you have to wait for funds, or or it's a side project. Yeah, it makes sense. But still, like, you can see the effort. I think and hope you are proud of this. It's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the end result.
Yeah.
Because the production was, sometimes it was kind of freestyle. But the result seems to me quite solid, and
Yeah, and also, as you said, the audience is reacting very well.
It was really...
I also noticed that.
Yeah, big pleasure and nice moment.
Yeah, that's cool. I wanted to ask you about when you mentioned the animation team and collaboration. Did you manage to work in the same place, or was it remote work? How did you manage all this?
Yeah, most of it was remote. So I guess now is the time to mention that I made a Google Sheet table which stored all the information about all the shots and all the statuses of all the steps of the workflow of the pipeline. So everybody could see like what each shot is, how far is it, what's the status, if it's to be like... if the next stage is ready, if it's like in the review stage, and like how many shots needs to be done or prepared for the animators and stuff like that. Yeah, that's one thing that we find out kind of actually by trial and error, because we didn't have anything like that when we started, and at the start it was actually quite chaotic. So then we realized we need some tool, like a kind of central brain, to store all this information, to communicate easily. So we could just send this link to an animator, so he could see like there is this shot, this sequence that I have to animate is this long, and so this was important for the communication, but. Other than that, I guess it was just kind of standard remote collaboration using video calls and a lot of Skyping.
Did it work well? Would you do it again like that?
Well, I guess now it's it would be kind of hard to get all people on the same location. So I think.
It's the way to go.
Natural to work remotely nowadays.
Yeah, I'm always curious to hear different stories. Some directors feel like it's much better to be in the same room because it's more...
It is. I guess It is, but it's not always the option.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Because, for example, at the very beginning of our close cooperation with Mara is short for Marek. So there was a period when we started in a studio together, and then there was this COVID period.
Right.
And we were trying to work from home, but it turns out that it really complicates things very often. Like if we would sit next to each other and there would be something you are not really sure, and you just turn to the next guy and ask quick question and it's solved, then hesitating, like, should I write an email with this question? No, I think it's like that. So you continue working and you send it, and it's no, man, it's
you lost
what
time,
is it? And half of the days need to be made again. So yeah,
more and more,
Yeah.
or it's for sure it's more efficient.
Yeah, but I guess it's true that it's very useful if at least the core team, like the director and maybe, yeah, like in our case, head of animation, can at least a few times a week, can get in the same room.
Yeah.
So the communication goes much more effectively. Yeah.
Yes.
but we actually it led us to do a very precise layouts. Once we wanted to keep this remote cooperation, we were told that it's not really usual or common thing to get the scene when there are, for example, 3 or 5 key images or key poses for a shot. So, but that was our style, to keep it, because I use quite a quick editing style for the movie with a lot of hookups, like when one shot is ending and fluently continuing with another shot, the same action. We have to do that. This precise preparation.
And are you saying that the fact that it was remote work, you needed to be more precise? You need to have more structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I agree. Yeah. And it's true also what you mentioned before, that you learn by doing. Yeah, maybe in the beginning it's a little less more chaotic, but then you realize you need more structure. Yeah, but it's a good learning curve, I think.
I think I would put emphasis on really doing really good animatic, because it really helps you to know like how long the film will actually be. Really try to do like super rough drawings, but try to animate it at least a little bit, just to have really better idea how long you need the shots.
Good point. Yeah. So good timing, doesn't matter if it's the drawings.
And then from the right timing, you know, like how long the work will take, basically, and all kinds of things.
Super. Was it so far the biggest project you worked on?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
For me, like, it was the longest, but not the biggest. I was working on 2 feature films, but only as an animator.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I also work on a bigger project, but personally, this one is bigger for me.
As a role, maybe also, because you are head of animation here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I think overall it's great, and I hope you will have a lot of festivals to collect more feedback from the audience.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
we hope so too,
I hope you keep collaborating together.
We will.
I mean, I know you just
we
finished.
We were talking about it because we are we have different opinion on the amount of use of the 3D, and
I see.
In what in the end is supposed to look like 2D animated film, and I'm more in the direction of animating it all in just 2D without much help of 3D, and Hunza.
But you know, now you basically just finished the film, so you need some time apart, and then maybe you can come back together. But you mentioned 3D. Is there use of 3D in this film?
It is. It was really crucial to to be able to prepare the layouts that precisely, because we have 3D as a layouts for animation as well as for the backgrounds, and because I wanted to do the cinematic of the movie quite close to live action movies, with all the angles of the camera and this rapid montage from time to time, and the 3D was a great tool how to quickly check if one shot is following next shot in a way I want to do, and if there was something wrong, you don't have to do all the drawings again. You just set the camera in a different place, or you just move the. We have very primitive models for the characters, like low poly and just basic rigs. But for the idea how the volumes of the body and or some designs of some objects should look like from this specific angle of perspective. Yeah, so that's
nice. And you did all the 3D part?
Yeah, I was the 3D guy, which is quite funny because I'm very bad in 3D, but it was enough for what we need.
Yeah.
Just I hope the
What?
that the audience will like the movie. We have also the conversation if the topic of alcoholism, if it's like adoring an alcohol or it's like morality.
Yes.
And I hope it's not adoring that much that someone like was in bigger problem than before.
I see, yes, it's a good question, yes.
At the same time, I don't think it's morality, so I hope it's just what it is.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the...
But it's good to mention it. It's
Okay,
good, yes.
okay.
You know, onion make you cry when you cut them. Do you cry when you cut onions?
I think it depends on the onion. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Okay, what about you?
I usually use just half of the onion, so it's a small amount of onion, and there's no time to start crying.
Small amount of tears. Yeah. So, do you have any tricks not to cry when you cut an onion?
Like you put it under water. Maybe it should start prevent the kind of the odor of or some particles from the onion getting too much in the air.
Okay.
But when we were kids and we were starting cooking with my brothers, we also tried taking the underwater goggles.
Yes.
It doesn't work. It gets under it really fast, and then you cry inside of these goggles. So
and it fills up with water.
Tried. It doesn't work.
Okay. Well. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
And that's it for today's episode. I hope you will have the chance to check out Hurikán. I left the links in the show notes to reach out to the director and check his work. This was the podcast Under the Onion Skin. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time with another director and a short animated film. Ciao!